Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening. Well, first tonight, a 68-year-old man has had a lucky escape, avoiding serious injury after his plane crashed at Stanley. The pilot forced to land on a rural property after the aircraft's engine failed mid-air. Garth Burley has more.
Police say the Jabiru light aircraft was forced to make an emergency landing at a North Point private property just after 9 this morning. This was the end result. The plane's nose buried in the ground after successfully avoiding cattle on the touchdown, but failing to dodge another danger.
And unfortunately there were some rocks which the plane struck on taxiing along and which caused some front damage.
The aircraft left Wynyard Airport early this morning for a scenic flight, but soon encountered trouble mid-air. The crash landing the only option for the 68-year-old pilot after one of his worst nightmares became a reality.
He lost engine power completely from what I understand, and from that point on he's done a really good job to get the plane down safely.
Authorities say he escaped the crash relatively unscathed, alerting emergency services before being transported to the Northwest Regional Hospital.
He's got some minor injuries that they need to conduct some x-rays in relation to those sorts of things, but I don't believe there's anything major.
Police say the man is lucky to survive and the incident could have been much worse. Recreational Aviation Australia will now investigate.
Well, a plan to widen a major highway at Eaglehawk Neck has sparked outrage within the Aboriginal community. It's a site of a traditional burial ground dating back thousands of years, and protesters are demanding it be protected.
Markers placed by the state government showing proposed dig sites at Eaglehawk Neck.
Heritage alone!
Today, ripped from the ground by angry protesters.
We're going to take all of those markers out and we're taking them away so they don't stick them back in the ground here. This is where our people are buried and we're not going to have it.
The site is home to a traditional Aboriginal burial ground.
The whole length of Eaglehawk Neck is one huge Aboriginal burial ground where over 9,000 years there must be thousands of Aboriginal people who are buried here.
The purpose of the digs to determine if bodies or artefacts are buried in the path of proposed road widening works. Aboriginal community members travelling from around the state to protest the move.
Let our people rest in peace.
And I've come along with the community here to show or to put some action in place to make sure that the graves of our old people aren't desecrated.
Definitely should not be right to dig up remains just to put in a road.
This place should be a place of respect.
They want to sit down with the government to create a plan to protect the site into the future. The community says if the government doesn't scrap its plans to widen this stretch of road, they'll set up a permanent camp in protest and stay as long as it takes.
To protect this area and protect our ancestors and their spirits from this vandalism of the current Tasmanian government.
The government says the works will go ahead, but further investigations will take place.
I think there's a due process that's taken place. There's been a lot of work, a lot of research, a lot of investigations that have taken place with respect to important infrastructure upgrade.
Meg Sides, 7 Tasmania News.
A Hobart Indian restaurant is feeling the heat after allegedly underpaying staff $63,000. The Fair Work Ombudsman is accusing owners of Little India of failing to meet employee entitlements, including penalties and the minimum wage. One worker is alleged to have been underpaid more than $15,000. The matter is expected to be heard in the Federal Court in Hobart on Thursday, where the restaurant will have a chance to put its case. A lengthy to-do list has been slapped on the state government to make Tasmania more transparent. The Australia Institute says the Integrity Commission needs more power to weed out potential corruption.
Gambling, drinking, building, cash from all three has no place in politics, according to a new report.
We do not need to have elections fought on the basis of money changing hands. We need to have elections fought on the basis of policies.
To fix Tasmania's reputation as the secret state, the Australia Institute says 4 changes must happen.
The Integrity Commission, beefing up their powers and also ensuring public hearings, right to information, clearing the backlog, avoiding ministerial interference.
Other measures, tightening laws around who can donate to politics and how much, as well as truth in political advertising.
Because at the moment it's perfectly legal to lie during an election campaign.
Labor says it would implement some reforms, but its own bill stops short from banning the gaming industry from making political donations.
So our bill doesn't go to that immediately, but what our bill does do is bans donations from foreign donors and also from anonymous donors below the disclosure threshold that we've put forward in our bill.
Meanwhile, a review into donation reform continues to gather dust after it was completed in December last year.
There's been a review and the Attorney-General and the government will have more to say once there's full consideration of that review and that report in the not-too-distant future.
Sean McComish, 7 Tasmanian News.
It has been revealed a movie about mass murderer Martin Bryant will be released on the streaming platform Stan. It's being filmed in Victoria and will detail the events leading up to the Port Arthur massacre. Screen Tasmania says it advised the producers to treat the matter sensitively when it was approached about the project. It's due to be released next year. Well, dozens of Defence Force personnel have just landed in Tasmania to prepare for the arrival of the first international Mercy flight. For more, we're joined live by reporter Sean McComish from the tarmac at Hobart Airport. Good evening, Sean. Now, what can you tell us about the deployment?
Good evening, Kim. Roughly 60 ADF staff are currently stepping off the plane behind me here after touching down from Queensland. Now, they're here to strengthen quarantine security ahead of the first Mercy flight, which is expected to land in Hobart on Sunday, bringing stranded travellers back from India. Now, the ADF will provide security at Hobart Airport, as well as assisting police at hotel quarantine. It's planned they'll use the hangar rather than the main terminal. Now, no date has been set for the other 2 Mercy flights, which Tasmania has agreed to take. Now, Defence Force staff will also be here on Wednesday to meet 150 seasonal workers who will touch down from Timor-Leste. They'll also have to undergo 14 days of quarantine. Kim?
Thanks, Sean. Sean McComish there, Hobart Airport. 3 decades and countless obstacles. Tomorrow, the fight to recognise Tasmanian war hero Teddy Sheehan with the Victoria Cross will be won. The Ordinary Seaman's family and fiercest advocates flew to Canberra today, ahead of a formal ceremony, to finish with a last post played in Teddy's honour.
This famous painting of Teddy Sheehan strapped to his Oerlikon gun was inspired by the stories of 2 survivors who recounted Teddy's heroism to artist Dale Marsh. That same image inspired the fight for Teddy's Victoria Cross, especially when the going got tough.
That used to inspire me, so well, he fought to his last breath, so I can do the same.
And that's exactly what Gary Ivory did. Alongside political ally Guy Barnett and an army of supporters, the family will tomorrow see Teddy become Australia's 101st recipient of the Victoria Cross. Reflective of the times, Teddy's heroics were not spoken about openly by his family following the war. In fact, Gary only learned of his uncle's story in 1990 in a book.
I couldn't put the book down when I first started. I just could not put it down. And my response was, why has this young man got a Victoria Cross?
That sparked the 3-decade battle for recognition, a campaign spearheaded by Barnett, one he took on in his early days as a senator.
It's been a tough journey. There's been so many knockbacks, and it says that you've got to keep trying.
Tomorrow, the final chapter of Teddy's story will have perhaps the most fitting full stop, the last post at the Australian War Memorial dedicated to the Tasmanian who dedicated his life to his mates. Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmanian News.
Well, 3 Tasmanians are being recognised for their television talents with nominations at the ACTA Awards. Launceston's Victoria Madden is up for Best Television Feature or Mini-Series for The Gloaming, which was filmed here. Luke McGregor nominated for 2 Gongs, Best Comedy Series and Best Comedy Performer for Rosehaven. And Tony Thorne's Little J and Big Cuz is in the running for the Best Children's Program. The awards ceremony will air on this station, 7Tas, on Wednesday night.
And Tasmania's football community is paying tribute to Gary Davidson, who has died aged 66. Originally from Devonport, Davidson was a premiership coach at both Glenorchy and North Hobart, and also mentored a generation of talent as coach of Tasmania's Teal Cup side. Meticulous planner, mettlesome competitor, master coach. Gary Davidson commanded respect.
One of the best coaches Tasmania's ever produced.
He was also a man of his word. Dan Keegan was 31 years of age in 1989 and had never played in a premiership. On the eve of the grand final, Keegan was spared at the selection table when Davidson intervened.
Davo just stood up and said, nah, he's in the side. I've already told him he's in the side. So I'll be forever indebted to Davo for giving me the opportunity.
89 would mark Davidson's third premiership at TFL level. 2 years earlier, he was named Tasmanian Sports Coach of the Year after taking the Demons to the 87 flag.
I think it stems somewhat from my teaching background, and I just see coaching as being an extension of teaching, and by having the opportunity to work with young people, I think we have a chance to push people further with their abilities.
And his work in that field was extensive. Davidson spent 6 seasons as Tasmania's Teal Cup coach. From Geelong, where he played 30 VFL games, he was described as a towering figure in Tasmanian football. Later, as an administrator, he was considered to have played a key role in setting up the Cats for their long-term success. From those who played under Davidson at North Hobart, nothing but admiration for the tough but fair leader.
His attention to detail match day was second to none, and I think that we were probably better prepared than any other club in Tasmania.
He was just the most switched on, prepared football coach I've ever had. It was only a 3-year window when he was coaching, but they're 3 of the best years of my life.
True to his word, and he got the best out of me, absolutely.
Davidson was 66.
You can certainly tell from that bit at the end there, Kim, just how high he was regarded amongst North Hobart, Glenorchy and everywhere where he coached and played as well. Certainly a wonderful man and well remembered.
Good evening, Ouz and Campania with 25, our warmest today. And as we farewell spring, Hobart reached 21, Launceston 24, Burnie and Devonport 18. Bushy Park 24 degrees today, Grove 22, Flinders Island and Friendly Beaches 21, St Helens 20, King Island, Smithton and Strawn reached 19, Lowhead 18, Liaweenie with -2. In the 24 hours to 9 this morning, Launceston recorded 32 millimetres of rain, but today just a smattering of cloud over the northeast and a few wisps evident elsewhere. The east coast of the nation with cloud attached to a low pressure zone. A vigorous cold front has cloud over central Australia and the Southern Ocean, also cold air sitting behind that system. Tomorrow a high over the Tasman Sea is being quickly followed by that cold front with some very strong winds ready to roll through. And windy it will be as nor'easterlies turn nor'westerly at 25 to 35 knots and even to 40 to 50 knots over the southwest by evening. Swells at 3 metres but building to 5 metres later. A storm warning issued for waters between South East Cape and Low Rocky Point. We have a gale warning from Tasman Island to South East Cape and from Low Rocky Point to St Helens Point, along with the southwest lakes. Strong wind warning in the east, the Derwent Estuary and Central Lakes. Also a warning to sheep graziers, a bushwalkers alert too for the Central Plateau and Western Districts. So it's all on the way. Same forecast for everywhere. Rain developing 26 for Hobart, 25 at Venture Bay, 21 for Tarraleah. Did I mention it'll get windy? It will everywhere as well. Launceston 23. 19 for Devonport and 21 the top for Bridport. Burnie doesn't miss out, 19 the high with rain and becoming windy, very windy for Strawn, 23 the top and 19 for Marrawar. St Helens tomorrow a top of 24 degrees with rain on the way, 25 for Swansea, Whitemark on Flinders 26. UV pushing up to an extreme 11. On Wednesday, showers and winds easing from the west and south in the afternoon. Mainly fine on Thursday, partly cloudy with a shower over the west, and on Friday showers contracting to the west and far south in the evening. A sunny 24 in Perth tomorrow, showers easing from Adelaide but continuing in Melbourne. A possible storm for Canberra, a hot one there, windy in Sydney, partly cloudy and 32 in Brisbane. Bit of cloud around at the moment, 22 in Hobart, partly cloudy in Launceston, currently 19 degrees, partly cloudy in Devonport and 16 degrees. And over the last 24 hours on the mainland, Kim, quite a few centres have been recording their warmest November day ever. But down here, it's not the way summer should be starting. I think we're in for a bit of a shock tomorrow.
Here's a terrible forecast for the first day of summer. Thanks, Murph. Welcome back. And that's all your news for this Monday. There'll be updates later. Thanks for your company this evening. Good night.